You should just make the intro, like put an icy tint to everything and make that the cold opening.
I see.
Cold
This is
open.
the fake
It's
cold
chilly.
open where we just go in.
Yeah, I would love to do a cold open for the audience, but
Yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, your JRPG podcast for all things JRPGs. I'm Brandon.
I'm Abdallah.
And I'm Emily.
And this week we're talking about JRPGs and how they take so darn long to get good. We ever notice when you're playing a JRPG, you're investing time right up front, hours upon hours, getting to know characters and systems, being introduced to the world. And did they forget to start the plot? Did they forget to turn on the motor for the plot engine? Like, let's get things rolling, guys.
Or get the combat going.
Or even give us a battle, please. Give us some kind of interactivity.
Something.
Now,
Something to sink our teeth into.
I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek because personally, I kind of like that. I like the slow burn. If I'm settling in for a long story and I've chosen to invest in it, as long as there are elements of it that are appealing to me, if I can tell that I'm going to like the world, if the characters are cool and interesting, I'm probably going to stick around regardless of how long it takes for the plot to get going. But I know a lot of people within the JRPG community and especially outside of it look at a lot of the games that we play and enjoy, and they're like, Final Fantasy XIII takes 20 hours to start. Like, how can you play that to get good? So we want to talk about some games that kind of fall under this category and kind of in general talk about why we think it is that JRPGs do this so often, and if it's a good idea. If it's a good idea in general.
Is it valid to complain about this criticism?
Right.
Or are we just complaining because we want something snappier, and does that make it less JRPG-y?
Is it like complaining that there's too much ice in hockey? Like,
is your steak too juicy? Is your lobster too buttery?
It's kind of part of it, guys. But we'll see. We'll see how we feel.
We'll see how this discussion goes.
Yeah. So I threw out Final Fantasy XIII as part of the intro here. I figured let's just talk about that right up front because, that is the token example of the JRPG that just doesn't know how to get it going. And, having played 13 myself back in the day, and then again several years later, I actually went back and finished it because the first time I played it, I fell off of it somewhere at like the 40-hour mark or something. But I went back to it years later and dug back in, and I can see the criticism. I can see what people are saying when they say it doesn't get good. But what I think they're actually saying is that it doesn't open up for 20 hours.
It's too linear, right?
It's too linear.
Those first few hours.
And really, in the case of Final Fantasy XIII, I would argue that even the moment that it opens up, in air quotes, it's still just kind of giving you the illusion of openness. You reach Grand Pulse, which is the world below Cocoon, and you suddenly are like faced with these vistas that, go to the horizon and you can go in any direction, and it's fantastic. But functionally, there's not a ton to do there. Like, you still need to go to your next objective, and maybe there's some side quests or whatever that you can finally undertake if that's your cup of tea, but it's still a pretty extremely linear game. So
I feel like the complaints are mostly they're claustrophobic, in those corridors, and they want some air and some freedom,
right?
See beyond those walls.
My thing with 13 is that if they're going to be linear, at least give us more plot and lore to what's happening in this world. Set us up properly, not leave it to me having to read encyclopedias.
Yeah, it's hard for me because I agree with that 100%. Yes, that was a poor storytelling decision to put all of the lore in the encyclopedia. But as somebody who read it all and play, and also kind of likes not having lore fed to me, as part of this, or kind of just letting it be ambient and not necessarily being comfortable not knowing the answers. I do kind of actually like that about 13, and that's that's the minority opinion for sure, right? Like people are not crazy for thinking 13 had some misfires with how it told its story for sure.
Yeah.
I have a feeling though, like a lot of people who say it gets better after 20 hours in, they don't read the lore though. Like that's not the biggest complaint people have. It's more of how it plays and what goes on, in that playthrough.
The linearity and the other aspect of people's complaints, I think, has to do with you're still getting combat tutorials up until about that point.
Yeah.
Because you don't have full access to everything in the combat system. Right.
We'll talk about another game probably in this.
We'll talk about those. But yeah, you don't have full access to everything the game has to offer until about that point.
Yeah.
And that's fair, I guess.
Sometimes drip feeding, like it's instead of like upgrading, your abilities, it's a different way to show different combat like evolutions. So instead of doing an upgrade, you get something cool. It's more of, you could do this, this, and this, and this. They could have, I guess, presented it or packaged it better so people don't have that complaint.
Yeah, to me, I don't want the combat be the same from the beginning.
Yeah. Exactly.
Give me some new.
Not fun.
Give me some new stuff as we go. I actually think that's not just fine, but better in some cases. I don't know. It has been 15, not 15. It's been like 10 years since I played 13, so I could be rose-colored glassesing this a little bit, but I don't recall that ever bothering me. I don't know.
No, and it's not the most egregious case of having tutorials, at that point. Like even Persona 5 Royal, I get like a new tutorial after was it like 60 hours in?
And I have to say, 13, I love the battle system for that.
It's great.
13 actually, it's really good. Like that's the one thing I actually
great combat, I thought.
Will agree.
13 broke new ground for the series. The fact that every Final Fantasy game uses some form of stagger, like the stagger system, that was 13. 13 pioneered that. It's a big deal. I also wanted to mention to jump back to the idea of claustrophobic settings and whatnot in 13 in particular. You are in Cocoon, right? And people criticize it as being a hallway simulator where you're just kind of running straight down a hallway and feels really cramped or whatever. That's true, but I also feel like that's kind of the point. In a lot of ways.
That's the name, right? Cocoon.
Yeah. When you get, you are trapped in this. And the storytellers are making you as the player also feel trapped. And then when you reach Grand Pulse and people suddenly breathe this big sigh of relief and here's this big open world that I can run around, even though, like I said, there's not actually that much to do there. And it's not that open, but it feels good. And so it's kind of simulating what the characters are experiencing. And there's this tendency among people that play games, people in general, of course, that any negative feeling is automatically a deal breaker. I don't want to have any negative feelings. I just want to feel good the whole time. And that's fine. You're allowed. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But I think that to experience the full spectrum of emotion in a game like that, or in a story in general,
you need highs and lows.
Yeah, that's cool. You need to have those negative emotions. It's when people complain about characters being irritating or whatever, chances are the writer wanted them to be. They're supposed to be. You're supposed to feel that way, and that's okay. It's okay to feel that way about them. And I think a lot of people turn those sorts of negative moments, those low points in the highs and lows, into deal breakers. And I think that's too bad. But again, like I said, everybody's free to experience things how they want to.
Right. When it comes to our free time, or if you want true escapism, everything's just like a utopia. It just is boring.
Yeah.
So, I'm definitely someone who likes seeing both the highs and lows and the contrast to really make the highs seem higher,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the low points are something you overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is how life is.
Exactly.
It's life.
I mean, I enjoy hating characters.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing. Like a good villain or a good, terrible character. I mean, with Game of Thrones, who loves, what's his name? The Lannister.
Never seen the show.
You've never seen the show?
Never seen it.
Joffrey.
Which throne is he?
He is like he ends up being on the throne for a period of time. Okay. They put him on the throne.
I do know that name, and I think I can picture the actor that plays him.
He's like a little like blonde boy.
That actor has that stigma, sadly. Everyone thinks he's like awful like Joffrey.
He's probably the nicest guy. I feel like they always get the nicest guys to play the most depraved villains or whatever. He was probably just super sweet.
And he's like the worst, and you hate him, but you love to hate him. And that's the thing. It's like this kind of characters, like they add a bit more of a dynamic to the storyline.
Yeah. Like if you look at the big villains in JRPGs, like people love Sephiroth because he has interesting qualities, but he's still pretty bad, right? Like I wouldn't want to walk in a hallway with him.
Yeah.
He's pass him in the hall, give him the like,
only because like
the nod in passing.
His sword is not big enough for a hallway, so you're gonna run into it, and it's not gonna feel great.
I think he would run us through.
Yeah.
With no hesitation there.
Yeah, a little bit of a psychopath.
A little bit. Yeah, but people love him.
Yeah,
like there's plenty of villains that I think rival people's like favorite characters in some games.
Oh yeah,
I think people are more willing to accept feeling negative emotions from a villain that is coded clearly as a villain. Sephiroth does some really bad things, including two characters that we come to really love throughout the course of the game. But he's a beloved villain because I think people are more willing to accept those negative emotions because they're packaged in such a way that there's no ambiguity about how the creators or the writers might want you to feel about that. It's very clear. They want you to be mad or sad or both, For other emotions, for other things like that, like we're talking about with the claustrophobia or whatever, to me, that feels like a very real, intentional thing that the storytellers did to give you an experience to make you empathetic to the cast of the game, and then let you experience that feeling of like, being able to breathe, being able to stretch out a little bit at that point in the game.
Like, I can understand if people don't. Everyone has their preferences. Like, there's some themes that make sense to have in a story that I don't like. Like, for example, if we talk about like cheating, in a romance, I hate cheating. That theme, I just don't want to pick up a novel that has that theme in it at all. So, like, everyone has their preferences, but it does seem a little extreme that people criticize a certain game for not getting good, or so they're told, and deciding not to pick one up because of that.
Right.
Yeah. Like it's too slow, or
it's too slow. It's not worth their time because sometimes the slow beginning, people think they'll feel like while they're playing it, they're not going to have a good time, therefore wasting their time, hoping it might get better. We can reference a game that we all kind of abandoned because of this premise. I don't know if now's the time to do it. Should we do it? We're talking about Final Fantasy. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Final Fantasy XIV. We have tried on this podcast. We even live streamed it. We were told you have to get through whatever, I don't know what package it's called.
40 hours.
40 hours at least.
Through a Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word.
And then you're going to have such the best time. It's going to be the best Final Fantasy story ever.
The story is the best. The characters are great. It's amazing. It's astonishing. I don't know if you all are lying to me, if this is a big gaslighting.
I can just hear the angry typing in the comments right now.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to love it. I was so primed to love it, guys.
Same.
I tried 3 or 4 times, at least 3 times, maybe 4, creating new characters, being like, okay, this is it. This time, it's going to happen.
Having friends do it with
having friends do it. That was my last attempt. It was like, okay, I'm going to do it with these 2. We're going to get in there and we're going to do it.
And then Doll abandoned us and didn't heal us. I blame you.
Of course, it's my fault. Of course.
No.
No.
Yeah, like I did it.
We tried.
My healing abilities.
And
your lack of healing abilities.
I can't do it. I do believe you when you say that it gets good. The story gets amazing after 40 hours. Get through the Realm Reborn and the first expansion. Get on to the next stuff. It gets good. I believe you, but I don't know. At that point, it's like that's so long, and I'm not going to be the person to commit. Like I will extol the virtues of 13, and I will tell you the reasons why I think that it's worth pushing through those uncomfortable moments in the first half of the game or whatever. Mm-hmm. I will extol that because I had that experience. 14, I have not been able to achieve that. So I can't, you're not going to hear it from me, unfortunately.
No, me either. Unfortunately, I think even though they have a very generous like free trial because they know how much of a slog it is to get through the beginning, I think, of Final Fantasy XIV, even though they have improved it, they try to do some things to speed up that process, I think, in the new expansions and whatever, or the new version. Mm-hmm. But I think part of me is I have all these other games in my backlog I would rather be playing. Yeah. And I don't want to commit to a game that needs a subscription service to play when you get past the free trial. So I think that's been the biggest thing for me. And it's just hard to commit those hours. I had to like no life it, which I can't do, to feel like it's worth it.
Right.
Yeah, especially starting from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you have to play for so many hours. You have to commit so much time to this game.
I feel like I had to no life it when I can't do that. Sadly.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
But I can see that. Are you still playing Dala? I know you were teaming up with the Legacy guys.
Yeah, no.
For a little bit there. But no.
I never ended up playing.
It didn't actually happen. It's fine. You tried
it didn't end up happening. And then I got sidetracked.
Another example, it's hard to
every other game that I need to play. So
14 might be kind of an odd example too, because it's not a JRPG in any sense that we would describe one. It's an MMO, right? It's an MMORPG.
RPG,
so I think if you are coming in speaking that language, if you're coming in as an MMO player, 14, I believe it.
Yeah.
When people say that it's like the best. It's the best one.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that. But I'm not an MMO player, so I kind of am coming in with that strike against me. So I don't know.
Yeah. Despite enjoying Final Fantasy, they're not the same.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I used to when I was younger be an MMO player.
Yes. Same.
But
I had so much time and no games to buy, so I would just play the free MMOs like RuneScape.
Exactly. So like nowadays, like I try to stay away for the most part. And then when I tried MMOs, we've tried them. I do enjoy it, but then the time sink is a lot for somebody who's trying to balance every other game that I want to play,
and
but also like real life.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the subscription model, right? They need to make it so that it takes a long time to do anything and that the act of doing the things becomes addictive. That's how the subscription model for games in general works.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just can't. That's not for me.
I wish they would let you like skip Realm Reborn and just get to a character that's like ready for like the other like the proper expansion stories.
Maybe they will. They've been crafting new ways to get you through, like letting you solo most of the game. That you used to have to team up with other people with. You know, they're trying to make it easier.
Initial slog, I'd be
true. Because they want to get new players. It's mostly our age demographic that are playing MMOs these days.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mostly, I think a lot of young people, they are probably the prime demographic that does not want to waste their time and are very it's very difficult for them to get into a slow burn game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to stay on the Final Fantasies while we're here?
Might
as well.
Others.
Yeah. Let's
think
get them all out.
I think that 7 through 9 are an interesting group. 7 and 9, I would argue, have very good and compelling intros. Both of them being
sequences.
A type of heist, which is cool. Right? In 7, you're bombing the Mako reactor, and in 9, it's kidnapping the princess. So you're like, it starts out with this intrigue and espionage and action and cool stuff.
Stuff's going on.
Yeah. And then 8 starts with a really, really cool for the time, very cool cinematic.
Incredible.
And then you're in class. And then you go to class, and then you talk to your teacher, and then you have to take a test. And then, and like the actual...
It hits the brakes real fast.
Right. And then the compelling plot stuff kicks in after a couple hours. You're going on your first real mission or whatever. But even then, the main plot of that's kind of the setup for the main plot. It takes you a couple hours to get to...
It's a slow burn getting there.
The setup of the plot. And then the thing after that is kind of what gets the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I don't know, but I kind of wonder if some of that is why 8 has sort of a bad reputation. I know the gameplay, the changes they made to the formula are a big cited reason why people have an issue with 8. But I do think that it was kind of I don't know, they kind of dropped the ball in how it starts. I don't know. How
do you think maybe it was too early for its time? Because I don't know if we want to stay on 8, but there's a lot of other games that also have the school setting that's very slow burn, but also I would say has this very big fan base.
Yeah.
Trails of Cold Steel being most prominent, I would say. Even like in also Persona games, you go to school, you do all these routines, and then the plot more or less unfolds.
Yeah. So for 8, and Dolly, you played 8, right?
Yeah, I played 8.
So for 8, I think that maybe if they had gone down a route more similar to like Cold Steel or Persona and made the school more integral to the way the game plays, the way the story progresses. Yeah. If there was more to do related to the school, it's set in a school. Yeah. But you basically, other than that intro where you go to class, I don't think you go to class again. I don't think there's any school stuff after that point.
Do you graduate or just no more class?
I mean, you kind of graduate because you're going into your exam, the seed exam to go on your first big mission and kill people because you're child soldiers. That's fun. So you go and do that, and then you're not technically in school anymore, but you still work for the school. It's a paramilitary. It's weird. So I wonder if they had leaned more into that, if it would have captured some of that same, I don't know, the thing that Persona sort of ignited in people a few years later.
Because they feel like they want to just step in those like young teenagers' shoes, right? Like relive those moments.
Because at the time, like Final Fantasy VIII was well before Persona and like Cold Steel took a hold of that kind of formula.
Yep. Yeah.
And like Final Fantasy has never been known for like that style, I think.
They brought it back though, right? With Type 0? Because I know that has a school.
I never played Type 0. I know it's a school setting, so I'm curious to see.
Skipped that one.
Yeah, that's like oddly enough like the one Final Fantasy game I've not played.
Type 0 is part of the 13 mythos.
Yeah.
And I've never really given it a chance.
I have it physically.
I got it because it had the Final Fantasy 15 demo.
Yeah.
That's literally why I bought it.
That's the only reason why.
The only reason I bought it. And I just played the demo. It was a $60 demo for me.
Yeah. I think 8 was rough beginning wise is because, like you do get that incredible intro that kind of gets you hyped. And then just like that quick emergency brake slows it down completely. Skids straight into a hospital bed in the intro. And I think like a mixture of that and this like the mechanics and the gameplay that people are trying to figure out at the time just caused a lot of confusion. Like like it's slow paced, but also like. What is this battle system? Like, what am I supposed to do with this stuff? How am I supposed to like engage with this mechanic? Ultimately, I think that made it hard. I mean, I love 8. I think 8's a great game. I think it's like misunderstood. And
us and Ben Starr, we're the 8 lovers.
Exactly. There's
Brandon Abdallah and Ben Starr. That's us. That's it. That's the fan base.
That's it.
It's just you guys.
We got to get Ben Starr on to talk about 8.
Who knows?
Yeah, once you play
it, should.
Hopefully you'll like it, so we can have Ben Starr on, and we can rave about it together.
We need to have Emily beat the game, so that way we can maybe do a spoiler cast with Ben Starr for Final Fantasy VIII.
If we see him at PAX this year, we need to muster up the courage. I don't know, maybe. Hopefully.
If anyone watching knows Ben Starr.
Do you know Ben Starr? Can you get us?
Let us know.
I tried sliding into his DMs and I didn't get a response.
No, exactly. So if Ben Starr,
also
if you're
Twitter
watching
DMs
this,
are terrible. I never see
They're
Twitter
awful.
DMs.
I don't even look at mine anymore.
Yeah.
No.
So much garbage. My gosh.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, I think 8 between the 3, 7, 8, and 9, 8 was the one like Final Fantasy of the PS1 era that was just like it gets good, guys. The story. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the story for 8. Wonderful.
It was,
but it does take time for it to get there.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other games. I feel like the prologue, they go so hard and then they kind of halt the wheels. Trails Beyond the Horizon, most one I think of most recently. Amazing prologue.
I love that game. Amazing prologue. But yeah, the way that it grinds to a halt
or Act 1?
In terms of Act 1. The way it grinds to a halt in terms of story progression is painful.
Jarring almost, right?
Yeah.
Because you kind of go back to the same shtick that you've been doing for the last 2,
Yeah. Even though it doesn't make sense
games.
For most of the time for you to be doing that.
Yeah.
It's a little rough. It's still amazing.
I still love the game too.
I love that game.
We did a whole spoiler cast on here with some friends of ours. So if you haven't seen that and you're curious and you want to watch it, go watch it. Or listen to it. But yeah.
But I think there is something to a slow burn. Like maybe now we've been criticizing like games that maybe don't do it right, at least to our tastes.
Mm-hmm.
But there are, I think, merits to a slow burn story and unfolding slowly as a way to really impact what happens in the middle or the end of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think one for me, and we've brought up Trails on this one, but I think Trails in the Sky first chapter, since second chapter is coming out soon, so might as well talk about first chapter a little bit.
Yeah.
We should.
But first chapter is like the epitome of a slow burn. It is truly what you expect from a game that is just drip feeds you lore, drip feeds you like just situational, like just the characters being characters in their small town. It feels like an anime, like a little characters kind of just like engaging with the town and doing their things and slowly branching out. Like it feels like it's a very like long-winded series that you're going to get into, and some might think it is, but it does such a good job of like when things start to really escalate, you don't realize like the work they put into getting you there makes you understand it. Like the payoff gets so much better.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like a positive frog in a pot of water sort of situation where you don't fully realize as you're playing it, all of the stuff that's being put into place for this finale. And then by the time you're at the finale, it's, okay, everything's happening. And then if you go back and play it again, it's, okay, I'm seeing what they were doing here and what they're doing here and here and here.
Exactly.
So it's a very slow burn.
Oh, there's like
you don't know the term about the idea of the frog in the pot of water?
When you slowly boil it,
yeah. So like it doesn't notice
that's what you mean. Okay,
until it's.
That's what you're trying to say.
So they're laying all these things out. You don't really realize it the first time you're playing, and then all of a sudden,
but then you do realize it. The frog doesn't jump out. I thought he was gonna you're gonna say it, but it leaps out.
No, we're boiled to death.
We're boiled to death. At that point, we're in it.
We're in it. That's it. We have no choice. We're engaged.
So Trails in the Sky is such a good example. It is kind of most of the game, to be fair, is that build up. And then you kind of get to the latter half of the final act, and it's really takes off.
You're hooked. If you get to the game by that time and you're not hooked, I don't know what to tell you.
Trails definitely isn't for you if that's the case.
That's the case.
Also, I might see a doctor. I might go see a doctor and make sure you're okay. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I think what makes remakes, especially for Trails, help kind of ease people into a slow burn, because visually the game's great, the voice acting, all the elements, it makes it more of a rich lived-in experience. Whereas I know a lot of people struggled with the original Sky FC and they dropped the game because they just couldn't be bothered, or they're like, well, I don't know what's going on. Nothing's going on. Why am I still playing this?
It is a hard ask for...
It is kind of a big ask. I personally was hooked, but I know it's not everyone's sort of way of storytelling. They want something a bit more like high stakes, or like big baddies that you're trying to take down, and they save that for the end.
Yeah,
and the next games really.
I feel like most games that are sort of standalone stories. Lean more in that direction, right? And that's fair.
Almost so much time, right, to tell that story, because otherwise the game would be like 200 hours.
And Trails is kind of an interesting example, because logically they should not have done what they did. It makes no sense from a business standpoint and from a just like logic. It's the odds of this being successful, of you being able to continue this story and finish it, are incredibly low.
Yeah, just to keep the same audience. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's Falcom, and they've
this is their baby. This is like
they've got
thing.
A history, and they've got a well-oiled machine, so they can so they can produce these games, and it's for a fraction of what other studios are making. But yeah, it's a slow burn. It is. It is one of the slowest burns, but it also feels so good. So good.
It warms you up.
It's the best burn. It does. The best burn.
It's really wholesome, especially in the beginning, and it's just so cool to see almost in real time, like these characters maturing and growing into their own.
Yeah.
Which is, the pinnacle, I would think of like shonen, sort of storytelling, which is prevalent in so many JRPGs.
Yeah.
Like you have, shonen like One Piece, where they take over however many volumes, however many episodes to show kind of the evolution of these characters. And people love it.
It's only 1,000.
I think for those of you who aren't familiar with the terminology, I would say shonen is like the weeb version of Bildungsroman. You just think of it as if you're more of the highbrow literary type. Bildungsroman is maybe what you would think of it as.
Brandon,
okay.
You're so Brandon. I'm just kidding. But yeah. If it's special character. There's a character who has to overcome something and keep the overcoming. Winner. Yeah, and they're going to save everybody. And that's kind of with Trails, there's a lot of characters that
Well, it's a huge universe. Yeah,
it is a lot,
and all these different stories that come together and different factions and things. You get to see it from their perspective.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I have an example of one that I think most people would disagree with me on. One that is, I actually think the slow burn works really well and is really cool, adds to the experience, at least in my opinion. And that is Xenoblade Chronicles X Cross.
Oh, okay.
Xenoblade Cross.
Tell me more about Cross.
So I think a lot of the complaints about Xenoblade X are, there may be twofold. One, the plot is not as character driven as the other Xenoblade games by far. Is far less character driven.
To be fair, this came out after just the first game.
Yeah, well, it didn't have the whole
people
series.
Looking at it who most likely didn't play it prior, like on the Wii U.
Yeah,
they see it after the first three.
It was created in a time when nobody knew if Xenoblade 2 was going to be what Xenoblade 2 is, because it didn't exist.
Yeah, there was no real big precedent.
Yeah. So that is true. It does have a much different kind of story. The other thing is how long it takes to open the world up in such a way that you kind of have freedom of exploration. Now, technically speaking, you can run anywhere, swim anywhere. From moment one, you can run out of that city and just go as far as the horizon if you want to.
You could go basically everywhere. Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
If you can survive, that you're going to reach enemies that are.
Hey, I survived.
That will crush you in a single blow.
You just have to run, guys.
Just run. So technically you can, but you know what I mean. Safe exploration, being able to feel like you own the world, right?
Yeah.
It does take quite a while. You first have to get your Skell, and then you get vehicle mode, and then eventually flight mode, and that can take a good chunk of the game. Most of the game.
I think it's only is it chapter 6 you finally get your Skell, which is, for those who have not played Xenoblade Chronicles X, this is basically your robot. You get to
your big giant robot. Yeah,
you get to
and
fight
even then
you
can't fly yet.
Yeah.
Yep. It takes quite a while longer to get your license. You have to get a license, which sounds bureaucratic.
License.
And
make sure to get insurance.
Get insurance, because if you don't, and you die, you're screwed.
You lose everything.
Yeah.
And you got to buy a new one.
It's a weird game, guys. It's a weird
expensive, guys.
Which makes sense, for a mech.
Yeah. Yeah.
Full of mech.
But anyway, the reason that I think so, I agree that does take a long time. Mm-hmm. But I personally really enjoyed that because the game, when you play it that way, kind of the way it's intended, of when you're just on foot, you kind of have a small radius around your safe haven, around New LA, your home base city, that you can kind of safely explore and do quests and advance the story. And then you get your skell and you can go a bit farther, right? And you can see a little bit more of the world. And then eventually you get your flight and then it opens up. So it's kind of like this expanding circle of influence that you slowly get to see unfold as the game goes on. And as the story, like if you're actively pursuing the main storyline, it feels like a natural evolution of everything that's happening in the storyline. Like you're having to go farther and farther. The idea of the story is you're trying to find pieces of the life hold, which is the thing that's holding all the bodies. I'm not even going to go into it. It's
I'm done.
It's a bit,
It's a little complicated, but you're trying to find all these pieces. The ship crashed and everything went flying all over the planet. So you're making your way farther and farther out from your crash site, essentially. And it just logically fits in with the plot. So it feels really cool to see the world open up that way. And I think even more so knowing that I technically could, like Emily was saying, you can just run for it and see it all if you want to.
It's really
but
cool.
Like kind of going with the progression of the game, the way it wants you to, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It feels really cool to watch it kind of gradually unfold that way. So that's my pitch for why it's good. Actually, it's good. Actually,
Like the evolution makes sense of how, definitely lends itself to that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, you crash landed.
Yeah.
So you're going to your sense of scope of this of the planet is very small initially because
you don't know
it's dangerous.
Who to trust,
you don't know
what's going on.
There's other kinds of creatures and other alien type races and things like that. So you don't know who's an enemy and who's not. So you're slowly making your way, and that's how the game kind of just like plays off of that.
Yeah. Every time you fight something, a guy starts rapping at you. It's rough, man. It's challenging.
The music, yes.
It's in the soundtrack. There's some English rapping. That's iconic.
There was a choice that was made when
very iconic English rapping.
It's so bad. I love it.
I'm trying to think of another JRPG though that's similar in scope of like the focus being exploration and leveling up like the vehicles you use to explore or places you could reach. I'm kind of coming up as a blank because that's not like usually the focal point of a lot of JRPGs.
Yeah. Xenoblade X was a very different approach.
It's a unicorn in the general JRPG space and in the Monolith Soft. It's very different from most of what we've experienced of Monolith Soft. I haven't played their, like Somabringer. I have no idea how that game plays. It never came out over here, but yeah, there are other games that we played. It's very, very different than those.
Yeah, and narrative, because like they're very like heavy on narrative and character focused. Narrative especially, and so for them to kind of make that take a kind of more of a backseat secondary aspect to the game, because when they marketed this game, they marketed it as like it's open world, it's like mechanical, like everything that you can do rather than what you're going to experience as in story wise. They didn't really promote that as hard as they did promote just the experience of flying in a skell. Also, they promoted that a lot, and then the fact that you couldn't do that right off the bat probably didn't
I mean, flying around in the skell is a great way to sell that game. Like, whoa, that's so cool.
That's so cool.
Sorry, it's going to be like 30 hours before you.
Because I remember the reviews, like the reviews when that first came out, and people were talking about it, and they're just like, "Wait, you have to 40 hours until I can get my skell to fly." And
a lot of these people too who are saying that are not seasoned JRPG veterans.
Right.
Yeah. It's true. But I can see the disappointment when like the marketing was very heavy on like you can do all these really cool things, and then
I've seen that in some other games too. Like when you get like an airship, for example, and it's not towards like the end of the game, it finally comes. You're like, oh, I thought I would just be flying or cruising around in this airship, but no.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to like how most JRPGs were up until more recent years, when you had like, world maps and things like that, when things would open up all of a sudden, you'd have your ship that you can go around in.
Yeah.
Slow build for the exploration's sake. And just make it easier to go back places you've been and discover new things that you haven't.
Yeah.
But speaking more of Xenoblade, a common criticism I hear, and I honestly like all the Xenoblade games, mostly two, but also one. I would say there's a lot of people. Let's talk about one first. Like a lot of people, similar to Trails almost, like even though there's some very exciting like story beats that happen, I don't want to spoil for anyone who hasn't played Xenoblade Chronicles DE or the other versions. A lot of people still struggle with how to progress the story and do the combat. And even though they kind of hold your hand a little bit in the beginning and ease you in with a bunch of tutorials, sometimes it doesn't click because it's so different. 2 especially is known for having tutorials like 40 hours in because of how complex that combat system is, and so they're trying to Molotov is basically, I think, trying to learn from their past mistakes of introducing something that seems really complicated and different, and thinking, okay, so if we kind of parcel this out, drip feed it to them, they should be able to get it.
Yeah.
And I think that could have worked, but part of it was, that you had the gacha system, and so it was very hard at the time. With the upgrade path, it's a bit easier now to get the necessary blades and field skills, getting all the chain attacks to work with the elements. It can get overwhelming, especially if you're if you're in the early hours of the game. And I could see why, people drop it, because either they just want to play something else that, they have most of the mechanics down from the get-go. They slowly build up, like, with like levels and things, like a traditional sense, you build upon those skills. Or you can just kind of fumble around with like the basics and be like, okay, I don't really get it. Maybe I'm not explaining this very well, but
no, I know
you guys hear those complaints too, though, right?
Sure.
About Xenoblade in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still learning from their past mistakes. I noticed that the Xenoblade X, even the tutorials in the definitive edition of X on the Switch, are much better. I understood elements of the combat that I just didn't get or engage with at all the first time because they weren't explained very well. So they're definitely learning the lesson, and
and
I
3
think
much easier, I think, to
3 I had basically almost no issues with. There was some with some of the chain attacks and the elemental things. I was like, I don't know if I get this, and also don't really need.
You don't need to get it. Is the thing.
You don't need to. It's fine. Did fine.
It was easy to kind of just breeze through that game towards the end.
Yeah, but I can definitely. Like, I'm not mad at anybody who, with honestly, any of these games. I'm not mad at anybody who's like, I gave it a shot.
I don't blame you.
I really tried, and I fell off of it because it was too complicated, or it felt like it was moving too slowly. Like, I can see people feeling that way about Xenoblade. Totally, that's fair. I mean, I think in all of the 3 of us would probably agree that we're engaged enough, even if the combat wasn't enjoyable.
I was there for the story and the characters.
Right. I was
like the first game. I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of went with it. And I was like, okay, let's
but totally bought in on the narrative stuff. So I'm in it for the long haul, regardless. No, fortunately, for the most part, I did pick up the combat on those games as I went along. But even if I hadn't, I would have brute forced my way through it if I had to, because I was sold on the rest of it.
And the beauty of it, for anyone who really doesn't want to deal with the combat, just put it on easy.
There is easy mode.
There's an easy mode. So like,
and
you can
also if you rest like at ends and stuff, you could get your level really high. So
yeah, exactly. So like, there are ways.
There are definitely ways that I think they put in there on purpose for anyone who needs them.
Yeah, I think Xenoblade Definitive Edition, the first one, does run into that problem, similar with like how we talked about 8, where it has like a very compelling instead of intro like cinematic, it's intro sequence of events that happen that are very interesting and cool, and then it kind of slows down
It's like, now
for a
go
long
figure out what
period
to
of
do.
time. Where you're kind of just doing side quests and things like you're not really doing anything of
a lot of fetch quests.
Like too intense or nothing too interesting in terms of that. So it really comes to a halt, and then it starts to like pick up with that slow burn of a Xeno game where like towards the halfway point and like the later half of the game, it really, and then like the last act is where everything just happens.
Yeah, there's that. Though I do think the pacing in the first Xenoblade game was pretty good with some of the...
No, I agree.
Like, there's some twists and turns, and 2 as well. Like, there's twists and turns to keep you engaged.
No, exactly.
I can see how people get bogged down if they want to do all the side quests, and they're not having a good time doing the side quests. I think that's something that people kind of fall into. They are trained, okay, I have to do these side quests. That's how I get these better like upgrades or weapons traditionally in other games. But honestly, some of these, you don't need to do them. That's why they're side. If you're not having a good time.
Don't.
Honestly, I don't think I did a side quest in Xenoblade 1.
Oh, really?
Maybe a couple in the beginning. But
I did all of them because I was like,
you did all of them?
Myself.
Jeez.
Okay. Oh, I did all of them. I loved that game. I wanted to just stay in that world. I was like, okay, let's do all of them.
I'm like not a side. Well, so for me, I was trying to get through them all quickly because I knew that Xenoblade 3 would be coming. So this is when I got in. I actually was going to play them all. So I was like, okay, I'm marathoning these games. I'm just going straight through.
I didn't realize you were marathoning them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played all of them back to back to back to back. And then there was
that could be fatiguing.
Yeah. So I did not do side quests. I don't think I would if I were to play it again. Just because I don't think that there's much like real story content cordoned off behind them.
There's some interesting side quests, but for the most part, especially the first game, skippable.
Yeah. And that's
I think some of the Blade quests are good, but you have to actually get those blades.
That's why I'm looking forward to replaying 2 with the Switch 2 version because I didn't do any Blade quests. I don't think I knew that they were a thing. I didn't think I knew that there were Blade quests. So
I didn't do a lot.
I missed all of that. Yeah,
because I didn't get a lot of
the
good
ones
blades.
with like Telos and Cosmos.
Didn't know that existed.
What do you, Emily? If you bring up getting
the
Cosmos in that game right now, I'm going to have a crash out. I'm going to have a crash out right now.
The rates apparently are better, especially if you've rebeaten the game.
Yeah, I've heard. I was reading online that the rates seem a little bit better.
Have you used all your legendary
Cosmos.
core crystals? Did you use them before you could equip like something that helps your luck stat?
I haven't started the game yet. Too.
Okay. I would hold off using all the, the Torna. They give you those those good core crystals.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till you get some accessories that increases your luck, and then pull.
That's true.
That's a little free tip for you all out there.
There you go.
Raise your luck stat before you engage with the pulls.
Yeah,
that's my in the beginning. You don't need them. You could also you have the new free blade of the for the Switch 2 upgrade. What's her name? Why am I blanking? From
Momo?
Sorry.
You're talking about Momo?
Yes, Momo. So Momo comes really early.
Oh, okay.
It's really? Super early.
Oh, then I'd love to use her.
So you could use her and Pyra, and you'll be fine for like hours.
Yeah, I can.
So, and then I would just once you get some like accessories that help with your luck stat, then just do some pulling.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that once I'm start 2, which will be soon. I'm gonna start 2, but I'm finishing X right now.
I need to finish X as well.
I'm on the last act of the last chapter. So like about the ending sequence right now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna finish that tonight, guys.
The ending sequence, including the new stuff.
The ending sequence of the new section.
Of the last. Okay.
The last chapter, which is the additional.
The final piece. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the final piece.
Cool.
So I'm gonna blow my own mind tonight with some Xeno stuff.
So I guess getting back on topic, but I'm very excited for you, Dala.
Not to diminish your excitement, Dala, but let's
we only have so much time. I wanted to go over
steer into the skid.
You suck.
Steer into the skid. Let's go. Here we go. All right.
All right. I was wondering, are there specific genres in JRPGs you've noticed the slow burn more? For me, I feel like tactics is a big one. Because it becomes a while before you could really utilize like different characters or different classes and have some really cool combat and probably story too.
Yeah. I think Tactics for those reasons, and also, the story, for whatever reason, other than Disgaea being the weird exception, all Tactics games feel like they have to be super serious political stories.
Yes, intrigue. Yeah.
And so those types of stories, I think, the medieval, like fantasy political stuff, I feel like those always have a really slow, like, Game of Thrones, we mentioned it earlier. The books will never be finished, but even if they were, like, those are massive books, right? They're so long.
And they retell the same scenes from different perspectives.
Right. It's a slow story. And I think that's just kind of accepted as this, for this subgenre of fiction in general. It's going to be a slower burn. Yeah.
High fantasy is very
So I agree. The tactics are super slow. And that's, I think, a contributing factor to why I struggle getting into them.
Yeah.
Like, I think Final Fantasy Tactics has a cool hook in the beginning.
Yes,
but then there's a little bit of a lull after the hook. And it does pick up.
Also, it does pick up, but also it encourages you to grind, which just adds more time.
Right.
Yeah.
That
is true.
But games like Fire Emblem, I think, have been, getting out of the whole medieval sort of setting for the most part.
Yeah. I feel like Fire Emblem's pretty quick at, like, just throwing you into the fire and just letting you just enjoy the battle system and everything.
I guess my exception would be Three Houses, but that takes a while, especially when you have to replay it, the monastery part. I still don't. I can't forgive them for that. But I hope Fortune's Weave. It sounds like they learned their lesson with Fortune's Weave.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're going back and forth through time or whatever. So you can
you could do simultaneous everyone. So that's nice.
Yeah.
See, that's not bad at all.
Hopefully.
One game, I think we were talking about Brandon earlier, and I think it might be just like the series in general, but that's Star Ocean, but especially Star Ocean 3. Because I think that one's like a lot of like lately, I think Star Ocean 3 is getting a lot more traction from the fandom of, like, people wanting to see a remake of that. So there's, like, a lot of people think highly of the game, but there's also a lot of criticism towards, like, that game is hard to get into.
Yeah.
Because that intro, the first so many hours of that game is very slow, and you're basically on some sort of beach resort and you're not really doing anything for a while.
Yeah.
It feels like that's kind of a Star Ocean thing too, because if you think about it with the other games, I mean, 2, you kind of get like a first initial hook of, like, being displaced at a time, and then slows down.
Yeah. So
you're kind of just like meandering.
They hook you, and then there's a lull in 2, and then it picks up again. 3 just kind of starts with the lull. It doesn't bother with the hook, which is a strange choice. I agree. I just replayed the intro to 3 not that long ago, within the last month, for reasons related to gathering footage. But it takes so long. It takes so long to get into it. It's like the game starts out with you as the main character, Fate, line god.
Oh my god.
You're a teenage boy and you've just gotten finished playing video games, and the girl that is hanging out with you just wants to hang out with you, and you're like, I was just gonna play video games. And it's like, bro, what do you come on, man, come on. What are you serious? But then they hang out. But so it's like it does take probably an hour and a half before things really get going, and they do pick up, and it is cool, and then the game does get really good. The story is really interesting, but that's a rough start. And I think that some of these we've defended as, like, I got on my pretension horse and talked about 13 being the writers, making you feel the same sort of claustrophobia and discomfort that the characters are feeling. And I'll defend a game when I feel like it needs to be defended for that reason. But I don't think Star Ocean 3 has a particularly great reason for starting so slow. I mean, if I'm being super generous, they want to make sure that that Fate is a normal kid and he's just has a normal life, and then things happen. But I don't know. There's other ways to show that, I think. without boring
other games at the
players.
time that came out, I'm trying to think of some where they really tried to show semblance of like a relatable main character who then, I'm assuming, gets into an extraordinary sort of thing that happens to him. Maybe they're trying to go off of that or, other media, but I guess it wasn't successful.
It's definitely a trope, right? It's definitely a well-trodden trope, but I just don't think that they quite pulled it off. The game is still
Are you surprised you guys didn't drop it?
I mean, at the time,
I was young, and I
was young. Yeah,
just powered through.
You had the time to just do it.
Yeah,
like, okay,
I had time and I played through it.
I don't have any other options, but I'm forced to play this game.
And the game does get really good. Like once it gets into the groove and you're doing you're in the thick of it, and with the ending and everything like that, it's a very good and I recommend playing this game. It's like one of those games I'm like, I understand why you drop it, but I also will kind of push you to be like, it's okay. This will get good. Don't worry.
Are there other games, speaking of dropping, that you guys have dropped because of the slow beginning? For me, it's been Golden Sun. I think we also kind of talked about that earlier.
That's fair.
That sequence.
That's fair,
I want to try it again. And I know we were supposed to do this for our book club on our Discord, and I failed miserably.
I also failed, but not for lack of trying. I just want to say, I really did try every time. So I've tried playing Golden Sun at least 3 times over the years. Once as a teenager, and then again for this book club twice. But I can't get past that intro. After I finish the intro, something happens and I can't proceed. So when I was a kid, it was I got distracted, went to school, and stopped playing video games. This most recent time, I did the intro, got to the point where you're like, finally the game's starting, you're on the world map, and I saved and quit, and it didn't save my game because I was using a Mister, and you have to turn on in the settings on a Mr. Pi that you want to be able to save.
That's so weird. It's not default.
Oh, yeah.
The goofiest, illogical nonsense. I don't know why that's the default.
That's so silly.
Makes no sense. So then I played it again because I was like, "We're doing the book club. I'm gonna do it." And I got burnt out. I got to the same spot and I saved it, and I just never went back to it.
Yeah.
I think I was like 3 times I've experienced this sequence of events. I'm over it. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know.
I'm going to try it again, but I don't know when.
Someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
Any
one.
other examples of ones that you guys drop because you just...
Astria Ascending is one for me. It definitely... my issue with Astria Ascending, aside from being really grindy, that's a big part of it, it's way too grindy for a modern game. But putting that aside, just looking at it from a story perspective, it starts in a weird place. I think that they make the mistake that some fiction writers will make, starting the story too late after all of the interesting events have already happened. And I know that sounds like it could be cool. It's like, but I could tell a really interesting story where we're coming in with all this backstory established and all these events that have happened. Yes, it can be, but it has to be as interesting or more interesting than the events that you kind of hear about having happened. And that was the issue with that game, is it had a slow start because it felt like they front loaded a bunch of lore that we didn't get to play. We didn't get to experience firsthand, and then dropped you in the aftermath. And then it was just kind of plotting and did not manage to keep my attention.
Yeah. I've never played it, so now I know better. I won't play it.
I know better.
Well, I mean, you might like it, but
maybe I like it, but
it wasn't for me.
But I guess one game I could mention that I feel bad I kind of dropped, but I want to pick back up again is Xenogears.
Oh yeah.
Mostly because I don't know why it was.
Shame.
But maybe I just wasn't in the mood to play it, and I didn't understand the battle combat.
Yeah.
Of like the combos, that is. I didn't understand.
Sure.
Like I like read something about like you're supposed to do this. I'm like, wait, what?
They don't really explain.
Yeah. They didn't explain it. I tried to read a guide that explained it poorly. And so I feel like I should probably look at it again.
There's no like real, I mean, I'm sure there's explanations like that are decent out there, but like it's a very
convoluted for me.
There's no like real information out there.
Maybe it's not like necessary. I couldn't I couldn't get I had a hang up. I was like, should I know how to do this?
Well, the other thing too is it's a PS1 era game. If you're playing it on an emulator, you don't have access.
I was playing on my Vita.
Yeah, it's like you don't have access to the manual. You know what I mean? It was an era when games told you how to play them in the manual. So it's like you don't have the instructions. True. You don't know. Like they're not telling you in the game what to do. So
it's true.
Yeah. So that makes sense. That's logical. Xenogears, I think we've talked about before, that if you're going to play that, I would use the Perfect Works mod on PC.
Exactly.
Because that smooths off a lot of if somebody sat down with the PS1 version, never played it before, was going to play the PS1 version or on the Vita or whatever today, I'd be like, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't get hooked, because it's rough. It's a PS1 era game.
Like the animated cutscenes in the beginning, I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I liked the idea. Like I thought it looked nice for a PS1 era game.
Yeah.
The animated cutscenes, I will say, this is a problem that I've had with this game forever. They're very front loaded and back loaded.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch in the beginning and then none for like 35 hours and then a whole bunch at the end.
Yeah. Well, they only had so much budget and they were already over budget.
Good thing they brought to the end. If the rest of it was at the end.
Yeah, they already blew the budget. So that was like probably could have just done without the anime and then finished everything else. Although
I love the 90s era voice acting in the anime sequences. It's so great. It's so fun.
I was impressed. So funny. I was like, I didn't know they did that in this game.
They talked, back then. It was like the first game I think I had ever played on a PlayStation that had, it was the first game I ever played on a PlayStation, so that's true in every sense. But it was very, very exciting. Also, there's like a naked butt in the beginning of the game, and I thought
there is a naked butt.
I thought that was very cool. As a teen, thought that was very cool. So
as a young boy, very cool.
Anyway, thanks everybody.
On that note,
let's say goodnight.
It's the worst, the best way to unhinged way to wrap it up.
The worst best way. That's what I bring to you.
That's what we're doing here.
For joining us, everybody, for watching or listening or however you consume this show. We really appreciate it. Thanks especially to our members for supporting us and making this possible. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. If you want to become a member, there should be information on how to do that down in the description. So check it out. Yeah. And to our Pursuer and Pursuer Plus level members, we will have an after show for you. Check that out too, please.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for listening. And if you have a take on this, if you think there are games that, just too slow burn for their own good, it's okay to drop them. Or are you someone who eggs people to go push through it, to encourage them to get past that? Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on the title, of course.
It does, yeah. I'm really interested in hearing... Yeah, I'm interested in hearing both personally. Like if there are games that you think just are not redeemable because of how slow they start, or if you're somebody who hears those arguments but wants to defend and encourage people, here's why you should stick with it. Let's hear it. Let's talk about it.
Let's hear it.
Please. All right.
Anyways, you guys.
On that note,
I'll take care.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.